Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday, the 30th of August, 2024. I've got some good news. Hey! And I've got some bad news. Boo! But before we discuss what's happened, you probably already know. Because it's quite big news. I don't know if you heard it. It's transfer window deadline day today. Quite a big affair. I'm going to moan for a minute. What is the point of having a transfer window that closes at 11 p.m. if deals can still be announced an hour and 15 minutes afterwards, and it gets up to past midnight? What is the point in that? What is the point? And why is the window closing on a Friday before Saturday's games? And you'd think, well, why not? It doesn't have to be like this. Other countries, their windows close at 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Some countries, like the Netherlands and Portugal, their windows close next week. Saudis doesn't close for another couple of weeks, but they do that deliberately so they can snap up players. What is the point? Why don't they just have it not on a Friday before Saturday, and why don't they just have it so that the window closes, I would say, probably 8 p.m, and then that's right in the prime time TV watching slot. They can start the main discussions from 6 p.m. going onwards. They get all the final deals done and they can talk about them on television up to like 8 p.m. And then from 8 till 9, there's kind of deals being still announced and coming in. And then they can wrap up by 10 o'clock, done and dusted. 6 to 10, primetime TV show, fantastic ratings. Instead, you've got this bizarre thing where it's 11 p.m. And, well, I don't know about you, but I was watching it. Shout out to Lions TV. He did a live stream, a 12-hour live stream today. He started at 11 a.m. and he went up to midnight. And then I was watching that during the day. And then I was alternating between that one and that Millwall podcast one. But they were hanging on because they knew that they have connections inside. So they knew that a deal was going to be announced. But it was literally like, oh, come midnight. It's like, bro, they had to go. And then Chat with Chaps were on. They did a 3-hour show. So then I go over to them and start watching that. And then we find out, then midnight, the deal that we signed coming in has been announced. But, so let's get into the nitty gritty, as they say. If my thing can work. There you go. It's not West Ham, it's Burnley. Zian Flemming has forced a move to Burnley, engineered a move to Burnley. He has gone there. He's gone there to Burnley. It's quite funny. We were seeing reports from probably say mid-afternoon that a helicopter had been chartered from around Watford up to Burnley's training ground, and that the person inside that was not Romain Esse, Zian Flemming. And people were tracking the helicopter on the Flight Radar website thing that you got. So that is what happened today. Yeah, he's gone. This was announced right at the end of the night. Attacking midfielder checks in at Turf Moor. This is from BurnleyFootballClub.com. Burnley Football Club are delighted to announce the signing of attacking midfielder Zian Flemming, who joins the Clarets on a season-long loan from Millwall. Indeed. So it's a season-long loan. Again, what's that about? We might find out, we might not. I think it's to get around some kind of finance rules, but the 26-year-old has scored 23 goals and registered 9 assists in the last 2 seasons in the Championship with the Lions, and the Dutchman arrives as the third signing on the final day of the summer transfer window. After joining the Clarets, Flemming said, it's surreal to be here. It happened really quickly. I heard about it first yesterday morning, and I just wanted to get here. I want to be a Premier League player in a Premier League team, and with the aims and ambitions that we have here at the club, we can make that possible. You heard about it this morning. They bid for you last summer. It's been all over the press. We've heard about bids this summer as well. You literally didn't just hear about it this morning. Amsterdam Flemming started out at the academy of Zigrums before spending time with RKSV Pancratius and Ajax. That's interesting. I think that's. I wonder if they know that, because I don't think that's on his. I don't think that's on his Wikipedia. I think that's like his junior clubs. So I think have they had to pay compensation for that? The thing I told you about the other day, the 5% that stays with a player throughout his career. I think that's got to do with the 5%. After arriving at Ajax in 2008, the midfielder progressed through the club ranks, making his professional debut for Jong Ajax in 2017, scoring in the same game against Jong PSV. May 2018 saw Flemming move on and join Eredivisie side PSV Zwolle, scoring 6 goals in his only season with the club before joining second-tier side NEC Nijmegen ahead of the 2019-20 campaign, where he bagged 13 times in a successful loan spell. Flemming then signed for Fortuna Sittard in August 2020 and enjoyed another prolific spell in front of goal, scoring 27 goals across 2 seasons in 63 games for the Dutch side, which earned him a move to Championship side Millwall in the summer of 2022. It didn't take the exciting attacker long to make an impact for the Lions. After scoring his first goal in September against Blackpool, he finished his first campaign in London with 15 goals and the club's Player of the Year award. Following another eye-catching season at Den last year with 8 goals, Flemming's arrival at Turf Moor concludes the Claret's summer transfer window, becoming the club's 12th new signing. So there you go. And this is what Millwall had to post about it. Mill confirms Zian Flemming's departure. Millwall Football Club can confirm the departure of Zian Flemming to Burnley on loan for the 24-25 campaign, with an obligation to buy at the end of the season. So it's a loan this season, and then they have to buy. Has the price been set? Does the price get set depending on variables in his performance? What happens then? If the price is set now? What happens to inflation? The inflation the official inflation was like some 2%, when in reality it's probably something like 10%. So is that taken into account? The club reluctantly accepted a substantial bid for Zian as he wishes to embark on a new challenge with the Clarets. So there you go. Basically, like I said in yesterday's video, funny business. He was injured in the January transfer window. As soon as the January transfer window finished, I'm fit now. And now, for this summer transfer window, I'm injured. As soon as we're getting reports this week, he's back training. He's back on grass, just in time to get his move away. So there you go. The Dutchman who joined the Lions, yeah, we know all about that. The club would like to thank Zian for his service whilst at Millwall and wish him all the best for the future. Indeed. Yeah, so many people on Twitter obviously not happy about this, saying that's it now, we're going to get relegated. Quite a few as well, like digging out Neil Harris himself. Like he's the one. He's literally not involved in the transfers. That's why he was so vocal in moaning about the lack of transfers in the squad for the start of the season, because he has very little say. He can recommend players to Steve Gallen and to the board, but they're the ones who decide who to sign. So people digging Neil Harris out for this is just bizarre. We have this from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Richard Cawley staying up all night to get the story out. So there you go. Maybe buy a copy of the South London Press as a thank you. Millwall agrees $7 million. So this is the first. Obviously, the clubs haven't announced the price. $7 million. Are you still upset now, or does that kind of stated your anger and your bitterness about the deal taking place? $7 million, fair. Plus with Burnley for Zian Flemming loan with obligation to buy. So there's an obligation. Does that mean it's going to happen, or is there a fee that they pay to get out of it? I don't doubt that would happen, because then if they can pay a fee to get out of it and he has to come back to Millwall, like, how is that going to work? I would imagine they would just pay the money and then sell him on to someone else or loan him out again if he's not capable. But so yeah, Millwall have agreed a deal with Burnley for Zian Flemming, the Amsterdam-born attacker. Has previously been the subject of transfer interest from the Clarets when they had just been promoted to the Premier League. Burnley failed with multiple bids for Flemming before moving on to other targets, but the 26-year-old has now got his move to Turf Moor after they made a fresh attempt to land him earlier today. Burnley had a number of offers knocked back by Millwall before a loan with an obligation to buy was agreed. No figure has been disclosed for the former Ajax man, but the South London press understands it is worth in excess of $7 million, with the Championship club successfully negotiating out a Fortuna sell-on clause last summer. Flemming still had a den deal running until the end of June, with a club option of a further 12 months. But there had been a growing feeling towards the end of last season that the number 10 was ready for a new challenge. MLS side San Jose Earthquake also expressed an interest. Flemming scored 15 goals in his first campaign with the Lions, but then the following season was tougher both for him and the club. One feature of his first season with the Den outfit had been the shot count he produced. There was a major drop-off last season, but he still finished their top scorer with 8 goals. Flemming told Burnley's website, it's surreal to be here. You know, it happened really quickly. I heard about it first yesterday morning. I just wanted to get here. I want to be a Premier League player in a Premier League team, and with the aims and ambitions that we have here at the club, we can make that possible. Indeed. So, obviously, Burnley have come out of the traps so far, smashing the league. Does that mean they're going to go up? Probably not. Probably, but, you know, it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed at all. So, it looks like he's joined a club that he expects to be in the Premier League, and then he's going to be in the Premier League. But is he good enough? I don't know. Don't know about that. So there you go. That is Zian Flemming out the door. Now, and as well, the fact that it's a loan deal, I don't know if there's a loan fee, but so that might be the situation. There's a loan this season, but there's a loan fee. But then the deal at the end of the loan might be less. So it might be a £1 million loan fee to sign him on loan this season, and then the rest of the money comes later, $6 million. The whole package is $7 million plus. You never know. We're never gonna know, but I don't know. It's about. I think it's pretty decent, to be honest. If that's the money we're getting for him. I mean, we got him for 2, sold him on. You know, is what it is. That's what you want to do. You want to buy a player for $2 million and sell him on, which is was it yesterday's video? The other day, we saw that Chigbuni Ogbene, a player that was at Rotherham that we were linked with, signing for $1 million. He ended up going to Luton, and Luton's just sold him to Ipswich for $8 million. So, you know, that's what you want. Sign a player for $1 million, sell him for $8. Sign a player for $2, sell him for $7. It's called profit. So yeah, that's what it is. But then, for some reason, don't know why, maybe we were waiting for international paperwork, which probably takes a bit longer to confirm. We finally get the deal announced that we all probably knew about. Mihailo Ivanovic signs for Millwall. And you can see they took the pictures late in the evening. I would say, when does the sun go down? Probably 7:30, 8 o'clock. The deal still didn't get announced until midnight. So yeah, we've signed this lad who's 19 years old. He's just been as well. I forgot to bring it up. I forgot to bring up the SA news as well. There's been international call-ups for this lad. He's just been called up to the Serbian national team for his first cap. Never played for them before. As soon as he's linked with a move to Millwall, gets called up and there's only 3 strikers in the Serbian squad for the Nations League for some reason. And also, Romain Esse has been called up to the under-20 squad. They call it the elite squad. He's been called up to that. And they've got a game, I think it's at Stockport. So if you want to see Romain Esse playing for England and you live up north, go and check that out. I'll tell you about that probably tomorrow then, because I forgot to bring it in the video because I'm just waiting for all this transfer news to be done and dusted, and then I can make the video. So yeah. Millwall Football Club is delighted to announce the signing of Mihailo Ivanovic, the 19-year-old striker, who's going to be 20 in November. So joins the lines from Vojvodina for an undisclosed fee, subject to international clearance, signing a long-term contract and becoming the club's 11th signing of the summer transfer window. Ivanovic's professional debut came for Sampdoria in Serie A, where he spent time on loan in 2023. On his return to Serbia, Ivanovic netted 9 times in the 23-24 campaign, gaining Europa Conference League experience in the process, while the current season has seen Ivanovic play 9 times, including against Ajax in the Europa League. The striker arrives at the Den on deadline day and will hope to make his mark following the international break. He is unable to feature in Saturday's Sky Bet Championship meeting with Sheffield Wednesday due to his registration being completed after the midday deadline on Friday. Mihailo's a big signing for the football club, said Steve Gallen, the Lions director of football. He's soon to be a Serbian international. He's 19 years old, so he fits the bill of players we tried to sign in the transfer window. He's young, he's powerful, athletic and quick. He's more of a number 9 in running the channels and good with his back to goal. I think we all understand we have to be patient with him. I'm sure the fans will be. I know we will be. We're really pleased to get this deal over the line. So there you go. Another player that we have to be patient with. So there you go. Now there's some pictures that you can see they took earlier, long before the deal was announced. Now obviously, what number is he going to get? Is he going to get the number 10? Because when Zian Flemming has left the building, that number 10 shirt is now free. Will one of the other players transfer over? Which I believe you can do that. It has happened in previous seasons. So is another player going to want that number 10? I don't know, but we'll see. And as usual, they took some pictures, and we can just scroll through them. You can see that to get the light out and shine on him to get the photographs, because it was so dark. He's in the changing room. That's how the Millwall changing room looks now. They've done it up for this season. There he is. Obviously no number on his shirt, like I said. Don't know what number he's going to have. Seems quite happy about that deal, no? Seems very happy to be here, which is what you want to see. What you want to see. Now, there was some... So like I said, it's a crazy day today. There's all kinds of things going on, which is unusual for Millwall. Not really how we want to do it. It's not really how we've been doing it in the past. Especially leaving it so late. But earlier there was some rumblings and mumblings, and I'm going to share some of them with you. This one's from InsideFootball.com, and this was announced at 9:38 in the evening. Derby and Millwall looking into late raid on Watford. So Derby County and Millwall are seeing if a late move to sign Watford striker Mihailo Ivanovic is possible. So you might recognise that name. That's the guy who scored that late goal against us at the first game of the season. And this was according to journalist Peter O'Rourke, so I don't know where that came from, if that's true or what. Paul Warner's just landed defender Nat Phillips on loan from Liverpool, is now looking to boost his attacking options before the window closes. I guess that would be Derby. Mill have just delivered attacker Josh Coburn to Neil Harris, but the Lions manager would also like more final third weapons. Both clubs are looking towards championship rivals Watford for a possible signing. On the agenda is striker Rakovic, and they are keen to see if a deal for him can be done. Rakovic has been involved in all Watford's 3 championship games so far, but his appearances have come off the bench. 2 of those games have been against Millwall and Derby, both giving both an up-close look at him. Rakovic found the back of the net against Millwall as Watford won 3-2. So yeah, I don't know where that came from. Seems a bit coincidental that two of the teams he's played against are trying to sign him. That's kind of bizarre, no? So I don't know if there's any truth in that, but that came out late in the evening. And then when that come up, you're thinking, well, have we moved off from the Serbian then? Is there a problem with that deal? So that we were sweating on that. So the Serbian's not happening now. Is there a problem with the paperwork? It can't go through? Like, what's going on? We also had this, which we kind of got announced earlier in the day, but then I think Richard Corley or someone put out later on in a tweet that this wasn't going to be happening because Adomi Omaku is not going out on loan. So it looks like we were going to loan out Adomi Omaku and then loaning this guy from Fulham, Marshall Godo, 21-year-old left winger. He started out at Dartford, played for Margate, went to Fulham, was on loan at Wigan Athletic last season. No, is that last season? Yeah, last season. And yeah, he's an England under-20 international as well. So I guess, which is kind of weird, because then you're looking at Romain Esse and that Scanlon from Liverpool. They're both in the England under-20s. This guy's also in the England under-20s. So we're basically trying to sign the England under-20 team, which is kind of weird. I know you've got a good level of players at England team, but like, if you played the England under-20s or the England under-21s as a team together in the Championship, how would they actually do? Would it actually be that good? Could they get results? I don't think they'll get relegated, but we have seen in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy that they put the under-21s team, and everyone thought, oh no, don't do that. It's going to be unfair. They're going to win it all the time, and they haven't even. I don't think they've even got to the final. Like, they're not doing anything. The under-21 teams from the Premier League clubs are not doing anything against League 1 and League 2 teams in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. So, I don't know. Is it right that we should be signing all of these youngsters? But anyway, this didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. So, there you go. And like I said, it was suggested in a tweet by some journalist. I think it was Corley, I'm not sure, that the reason why this didn't happen is that Adomi Omaku is not going out on loan. Now, why did he not go out on loan? Does no one want him? Was the right offer not coming? We were looking for a League One team, and no League One team wanted him, or could afford him. I don't know. But then the Marshall Godo, or maybe someone suggested, like, why are we loaning out one of our own youth players to then loaning another youth player to cover a young player that we've loaned out? That really made no sense. So there you go. That was another one that we were linked with today. Didn't happen. But one player that did happen, obviously we've kind of heard about that already in the story. This happened earlier on in the day, just before 7 hours ago. So that would have been afternoon, 2 or 3. So Millwall announced Josh Coburn loan signing. So the Millwall Football Club is delighted to announce the signing of Josh Coburn on a season-long loan from Middlesbrough. The 21-year-old striker arrives in SC16 to become the club's 10th signing of the summer transfer window. Coburn, a product of the North East, made his professional debut for Middlesbrough at the end of the 2020-21 campaign, only scoring on his only second appearance and first home fixture at the Riverside Stadium, in a game that also saw current Lions George Saville and Duncan Watmore line up for the hosts. So did they know him then? So they kind of, did that help seal the deal? They know him. Following his first full season on Teesside, the attacker moved on loan to Bristol Rovers, where he scored 10 goals across the season, including in 4 consecutive games for the Gas. Regularly in Borough's Matchday squad, Coburn had made 4 appearances for Middlesbrough in 24-25 and most recently scored in their Carabao Cup victory over Leeds United earlier this month. Yeah, but this week in their Carabao Cup, he didn't really do that well. Apparently he missed from 2 yards out. I haven't seen that one. I did see that they were 5-0 down. I think they did end up losing 5-0. So, yeah. Oh, I'm really pleased to get Josh through the door, said Steve Gallen-Mills, Director of Football. A lot of clubs wanted to bring him in over the summer. We've been really patient, but also really persistent. He's a target man who holds the ball up, runs the channels well, and is good in the air, as well as being a strong boy. He's a very high ceiling, and I'm pleased he's now a Millwall player for this season. Coburn will wear shirt number 21 during his time with the Lions and will be available for Saturday's Sky Bet Championship visit of Sheffield Wednesday. So he was signed. So he was signed before midday. But I didn't think they announced it until later though. So yeah, that's done. That's dusted. It's all good. So I think he will probably play tomorrow. He's certainly match fit. And we know that Tom Bradshaw is not available, and Macaulay Langstaff doesn't seem to be up to the pace of the Championship yet. So that was a transfer window that was, and some highs, some lows, some misses, but I mean, we wait to see how good the deals were in terms of how the players play, but it was mentioned that the Josh Coburn loan signing is just a loan signing. There's no buyout clause at the end of it. So, he's just coming on loan to play because Middlesbrough signed a different striker the other day, Tommy Conway. And they want him to get game time. So, there you go. And the interesting, obviously, they don't see us as rivals, Middlesbrough, because they've let him come to us. And there you go. There you have it. So it would be interesting to see the lineup that starts tomorrow. Hopefully we get a win. And now we're going to start to talk about that game. So Mill put this up today. This is from Mill's official website, millfc.co.uk. It's some information before the game against Sheffield Wednesday tomorrow at the Den. So supporters are advised to arrive early if purchasing tickets to prevent lengthy queues before kick-off. The ticket for collection window will also be open for fans wishing to collect tickets for the Sheffield Wednesday Luton Town. Fans can purchase their tickets for the Sheffield Wednesday Luton Town home matches at their main ticket office. All of the membership cards have now been posted. Yeah, mine came today. Loads of people said theirs come yesterday. So if supporters have purchased a ticket on their membership card and not received it, please contact the ticket office and a replacement ticket will be ready for you to collect on match day. So alternatively, head to the ticket office on match day and a reprint can be supplied to you then. So if you haven't had yours yet and they've uploaded the thing onto your card, you can still turn up to the game and get your ticket sorted. If you haven't received your season ticket or forgotten your card, please contact for a replacement ticket to be ready for you to collect on match day, or just head to the ticket office. If you need a paper ticket for match day, head to the ticket office and confirm your name and address. Okay, after the game, 5 windows of the main ticket office will be open for collections, inquiries and sales. So the Lions store will be open on Saturday morning, whilst the ticket office open from 10 AM. The club's new bag drop policy, Boo is in action from this weekend, with further details to be found here. Do you know that the video that I made about the bag drop policy, that video, the one with the angry emoji faces, that is now my most viewed video of all time. It's my most video with the most likes on it, and it's the video with the most comments on it. A lot of people not happy about that backdrop policy. A lot of people not happy about that. Finally, kiosks 8 and 9 in the Barry Kitchen are lower, and 13 and 14 in the Dockers lower will be serving loaded katsu chicken chips and loaded cheeseburger chips, whilst the pie mash stall will be selling a strawberry freak shake. Furthermore, fast pour beer taps will be in action at kiosk 11. Okay, there you go. You got some special food on there. Now, match day mascots. Introducing Millwall Football Club's matchday mascots for Saturday's Sky Bet Championship visit of Sheffield Wednesday. Samuel Phillips, Saturday's Junior Lions mascot is Samuel Phillips. Samuel's 13 years old and plays in central midfield for Wickford Town. His hobbies include football, gaming and paddleboarding, whilst his favourite player is Joe Bryan. He predicts a 2-1 win for the Lions. Well, it'd be very interesting to see if any of these young mascots say that their favourite player is Zian Flemming, because that is going to be a bit eggy. Next up is Benji Savage. Where is he at? Is that Edinburgh Castle? I don't know where that is. So, Benji is 9 years old. He enjoys football and golf. His favourite player is Danny McNamara, and he thinks Millwall will win 2-1 against Sheffield Wednesday. Next up is Aidan Tracy. Aidan's 10 years old and enjoys football and tennis. His favourite Millwall player is Tom Bradshaw, and he predicts a 2-1 win for Millwall this Saturday. Next up is Mason Gallagher, who's gone to the races. Nice. 10-year-old Mason is obsessed with football. He's been a Millwall supporter all of his life, following in his granddad's footsteps. He loves nothing more than going to the den with his family and watching his favourite team rocking all over the world. Is his favourite song of all time. Mason's favourite player is Romanes, and he hopes for a 3-2 win for Millwall on Saturday. So he thinks the defence is still going to be a bit shaky. Okay, next up we have Jimmy Eads. Jimmy is celebrating his 6th birthday today. Happy birthday. And he's already 6 years old. He's already winning trophies at football. Sign him up. He's a big Millwall fan and football mad. Jimmy spends all of his time either playing or watching football. His favourite Millwall player is Danny McNamara, and his score prediction for Saturday is a 2-1 Millwall win. A lot of 2-1s. Next up is Georgie Stewart. He's age 4. Oh, okay. Enjoys football and tennis. His favourite player is Ryan Lennon. His score prediction for Saturday's match is 2-0 to Millwall. So obviously he thinks that Tanganga's going to strengthen the Millwall defence. Next up is Billy Stewart. Billy's age 5 and he loves to play and watch football. His favourite player is Tom Bradshaw, and his score prediction for this weekend is 3-0 to Millwall. We hope you all have a wonderful day. Indeed. Now, let's have a look. Will it be a wonderful day? We certainly do hope so. What you're looking at now is the 11v11.com page for the head-to-head between Millwall and Sheffield Wednesday. Organised so that it's Millwall home games first. The first ever Millwall versus Sheffield Wednesday game at Millwall was on the 8th of February 1906, which would have been on the Isle of Dogs in an FA Cup game that we lost 3-0. But since then, we have absolutely smashed Sheffield Wednesday any time that they came to the den. Well, not smashed them, we beat them. Not really high-scoring games, to be fair. 2-0 win. 3-0 September 1970, or 3-3 draw. That's a bit of a weird draw. Don't get many of them these days. In September 1979. And we played all of these games without losing so many games. 1939, 1946, 1947. Big gap between 1947 and 1971, but we picked up where we left off by not losing at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Then we go all the way down. And by this time, Sheffield Wednesday kind of getting a bit good. Was it the final or the semi-final? The final of the FA Cup around this time. May have been that season actually that we drew 4-4 with them in the FA Cup. There or thereabouts. And you can see, so then obviously they're starting to get good. We kind of dropped off a bit, dropped into the 3rd division. And then we lose for the first time in so long a League Cup. October 1995, 2-0 in the League Cup. And then later, the next game, quite a while after, 2002, a 2-1 defeat in the league. So that's actually the first ever league defeat at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Took all of these games, probably about 12 or so, I haven't counted them out. It took until the year 2002. So we were literally undefeated in like 90 years. That's not bad. Before we lose at home to Sheffield Wednesday in the league. After that, we win 3-0, but then we go back to losing. 1-0 loss 2006, 2013, lose 2-1, 2014 a 1-1. 2015 we lose 3-1. And then the most recent results, not too bad until we get to earlier this year. 2024, I think the game that put the nail into the coffin of Joe Edwards, losing 2-0 to Sheffield Wednesday at home on the 17th of February 2024, the year of our Lord. But before then, 2021, 4-1. So we did go on a 4-game streak where we didn't lose to them, but then we lost last season. So kind of interesting. So what will happen tomorrow? You would imagine if we go back to generally how it is, that this is a game we should win, really. Because I think at the time that we were losing to Sheffield Wednesday, we weren't that good, and they were quite good. But at the moment, obviously, last season they had a bit of a rough season, and this season they started off well, but then they kind of went a bit crazy. I think they won the first game 4-0, and then they lost their second game 4-0. Been a bit of a mad old time for Sheffield Wednesday, but being a bit schizo. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow. But I think it is a game we should be winning by looking at these results. So moving on to some predictions. This is from sportsmole.co.uk. I'm using them this season. They seem pretty good. Sam Barley writing this. So let's get into it. So Millwall will continue their search for a first win in the Championship season on Saturday. Yeah, we haven't won a game yet, have we? In the league, we won against Portsmouth. When they welcome Sheffield Wednesday to the Den, the hosts put their first point of the campaign on the board in the goalless draw last weekend, while the visitors have suffered back-to-back league draws after an opening day win. Mill headed back to the Den on Saturday, aiming to put a 3-point haul of the season on the board, and the fourth time of asking in the Championship following a tough start to the new term. Neil Harris returned to the Lions dugout in late February and steered them well clear of the threat of relegation last season, as the London outfit eventually finished 13th, having earned 26 points from their final 15 outings. And he set out for an improved campaign this time around in Harris's first full term back at the helm. They've certainly faced a trickier opening run though, kicking off with a 3-2 and 4-3 defeats to Watford and Bristol City respectively, either side of an EFL Cup victory over Portsmouth, before heading to Hull City in their third league outing last weekend. Harris's men were at least able to open their account for the season in that contest, as the game ended goalless at the MKM Stadium, but they now return in action on the back of another disappointing defeat, having dropped out of the EFL Cup following a 1-0 home defeat to third tier Leyton Orient on Tuesday, as Daniel Aguirre netted the only goal at the Den. With definite cause for concern about their start to the new campaign, Millwall will be desperate to secure a first league win at the fourth time of asking to avoid quickly being cut adrift in England's second tier this term. Their visitors, meanwhile, travel to the capital on the back of a more successful midweek cup outing in search of a return to winning ways in the Championship, after eventually steering clear of relegation themselves last time around, finishing 20th after sitting in the bottom three for the entirety of the campaign. Sheffield Wednesday headed into their first full season under the tutelage of Danny Roll with plenty of optimism. They would enjoy a perfect start too, hosting Plymouth for a goal on the opening day and dishing out a 4-0 beating before visiting Hull City in the EFL Cup first round and progressing with a 2-1 win. The Hows have since suffered back-to-back defeats in England's second tier though, firstly seeing their momentum halted in a 4-0 thrashing of their own away at Sunderland before succumbing to a 2-0 loss at home to Yorkshire rivals Leeds United last Friday, and now on the back of a dominant display away at Grimsby Town on Tuesday, having progressed to the EFL Cup third round with a 5-1 triumph, Sheffield Wednesday will aim to put their recent defeats behind them and add another 3 points to their Championship tally for victory at the Den. Neil Harris will rotate his Millwall squad heavily for Tuesday's EFL Cup tie and should revert to a similar starting 11 from last week's draw, with Hull City on Saturday with Jake Cooper and Jafet Tanganga bound to return to the middle of the defence. Casper Denor will hope to rejoin George Saville in the injury room, although Lions have bolstered their midfield ranks this week with the loan signing of Ryan Wintle from Cardiff City. At the top end of the pitch, Tom Bradshaw he's injured, so he's not going to get the nod over Macaulay Langstaff. While Duncan was bound to return in the support trio, having managed 3 championship goals so far this season, leaving Romain Esse, George Honeyman, Ademo Maku, and Femi Aziz to compete for the final attacking spots. Sheffield Wednesday also rotated for their EFL Cup tie last time out, with Ike Ogbo and Callum Patson both laying their claim for the first league starts of the season at the weekend after scoring 1 and 2 goals respectively against Grimsby. They face competition though, with Jamal Lowe, Josh Winders and Andy Musaba all vying to return from the outset, while Barry Bannon and Svante Ingelsson should come back into the midfield for the trip to the Den. The pair may be joined by either Nathaniel Chalabar, who earned his Owls debut on Tuesday, or new arrival Shay Charles, with Deshaun Bernard and Dominic Orther set to continue in the middle of defence. So, we say Millwall 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2. While Sheffield Wednesday do head into the weekend on the back of consecutive league defeats, conceding 6 goals across those without scoring, they should eye up Saturday's contest as a good opportunity to bounce back. After falling short against particularly tough opposition and showing their quality in a thrashing of Plymouth Argyle, we back Rolls men to get the better of Millwall side, who are yet to kickstart their campaign. And they think it's going to be 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday. Not sure about that. So, here we go. We've got this, which is from whoscored.com. They've had a bit of a graphic upgrade. If we do that, and it's been up so long it hasn't loaded, it's reloaded. So, as we've seen, so this is the last 6 games. So we actually beat them while we had a man sent off in 2019. And that was in August as well. It was 17th of August. In the last 6 games, not a lot of goals, even though there has been a 3-1 defeat and a 4-1 win. Over those 6 games, just 8 goals for Millwall and 7 goals for Sheffield Wednesday. Interestingly, 12 yellow cards for them and 6 for us. So they outscore us on yellow cards by 2-1. 1 red card each. So, this is the table as it stands now. 22nd after 3 games. Who looks at the table after 3 games? Only an absolute moron would do that. So let's have a look at the table after 3 games. Pretty similar, I would say, but they've got the win. They've scored 4 goals. We've scored 5. They've conceded 6 goals. We've conceded 7. So, you know, they've lost 2 goals. They've lost 2 games. We've lost 2 games. The only problem is we drew our other game and they won. So, like, we could have beat Hull. It wasn't. Like, if you were to say, you would think that we did have the chances to win that game. So it could have been a win at Hull, but it wasn't. If we do that and then do that, so you can see they failed to score at Sunderland, but they scored 5 goals away at Grimsby, and they scored 2 goals away at Hull. So that was in the cup though. So they played away at Hull in the cup, and they beat them 2-1. Where we played at Hull away in the league and drew 0-0. So I don't know what that means. And the Fortress Den is not. It's not the Fortress Den. Why? What happened? Is it the changing room? Well, they've changed the changing room. I don't know. It's small margins, but is that an issue? I don't know. Maybe. But we haven't won at home yet. And the last time out was absolutely abysmal. So we see how we go. But here's strengths and weaknesses. Here's the styles. So, let's get into it. Let's go over and see the prediction from whoscored.com before we wrap up the video. Well, this is out of date clearly because Zian Flemming is not injured, but he is out. Prediction. Millwall claimed their first point of the season on their visit to the MKM Stadium last weekend, holding out for a point against Tim Volter's Hull side. This result was followed by a dismal display against League One side Leyton Orient in the Carabao Cup, meaning Neil Harris's men have a point to prove on Saturday. Sheffield Wednesday had no answer to the attacking might of Yorkshire rivals Leeds United last weekend as they suffered a comprehensive 2-0 home defeat. The Owls have, however, been dominant against lesser sides so far this season, and a 5-1 midweek win against Grimsby should give them confidence ahead of a trip to London. Whoa, what does that mean? It's a bit cheeky. It's a bit cheeky. Lesser side. Are we a lesser side, ladies and gentlemen? Are we a lesser side? If you look on the right hand side, the top players, our top players are rated better than their top players. Duncan Warren's got 7.44. George Saville's got 7.23. And somehow Joe Bryan's got 6.81. Duncan Warren was one of the highest scorers in the league. He's got 3 goals. So, better than your lot. And they predict Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Millwall 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. I would say that this game is arguably a must-win game. Why? Because we haven't won yet, and we've had a whole month and we haven't won. The club have just sold Zian Flemming to a lot of ira online, although online fans are not really representative. They are to some extent, but they are kind of an hyper realization of an actual fan, if you know what I mean by actual fan, but like a fan that isn't terminally online, who doesn't have a Twitter account or doesn't have a Facebook account, doesn't go online, and actually lives in the real world, speaking to real people face to face. They do have a grain of truth in them, but you need to dig through all of the hyper realized posturing and etc. Over dramatization of things that happen. But it does seem that a lot of fans not happy with Zion Flemming leaving. So, and we see how we go. Now, it was mentioned post-match against Leyton Orient that Neil Harris kind of was pressured, kind of acquiesced to select players based on just giving players minutes rather than selecting a team that he thought would win. If he realises that and understands that and follows through on that, and from this point on decides to act earnestly with what he fully believes in his heart to be picking teams that can win the games ahead of them. Do what you need to do to win the game. See, some people are going to be upset about that if they keep getting stuck on the bench week after week, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's a long old season. Players get injured. There are going to be opportunities for players to come in and prove themselves going forward. It will happen. The squad is locked now until January, and then it's locked from the end of January to the end of the season. So there are going to be opportunities for players to try to prove themselves and try to get a run in the team. There are probably going to be red cards, suspensions, all kinds of things. So, you've got to be ready. So we'll see what side Neil Harris selects. Will he change the formation? Now we have a target man. Will we go one up or one beside him? 2 up front? I'm not sure about that yet. Will we switch to 3 centre backs? So we can. I was saying like 3-5-2, not necessary, but like maybe 3-4-1-2. So you could have something like that. I don't know, but we'll see. Personally, I think that this game will be a Millwall win. 100%, not really much doubt. I think if we do lose, it might kick off a few dominoes that could cause things to happen behind the scenes. If we haven't won a game in our first 4 league games after such an abysmal display against Leyton Orient. So we'll see, but I certainly do think we'll win this game. And I think it's going to be Millwall 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1. So I think it's going to 2-1 to Millwall. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.